Yo, today's Wednesday, I believe. It's that Mercury day, the off day, and all of that. Tricksters and shit like that. Mind playing tricks on me. Thoughts enter our mind, and I just wanted to remind everybody that what I'm saying. Our mind plays tricks on us, and it's moving outside of our control most of the time. But we identify with this mind, with our thoughts, with these thoughts and feelings and emotions that come through our brain, so to speak, and then we think that's who we are. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's so much emphasis on programming, young children. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, they've already been trained. But the new dogs, you know what I'm saying, they're more like wolves. They you know what I'm saying, they could evolve into something different if you allow them the space to do so. So the point I'm making is that, well, we're seeing a lot of energy around discussing emotional trauma and healing, doing shadow work from the trauma. And what that means, a piece of what that means is reorganizing and unlearning our subconscious from 0 to 7, even before 0. You know what I'm saying? When we was in our mother's womb. Because if you watch the movie Lucy, the one who plays Black Widow she plays Black Widow on Avengers. What she does is, but she's Lucy, you know what I'm saying? Lucifer, Lucy, you know what I'm saying? Or Venus, that whole situation. But anyway, so she gets this bag of something, this medicine. Of course, I gotta make it medical. She gets this bag of like some medicine or some chemicals, and it's supposed to operate or increase your brain capacity to 100%. So you see over the movie, it gets to 100%. And then she becomes a computer, of course, and then transfers her energy via USB stick to Morgan Freeman, the magician, and But in between all of that, you see the growth and progress of the mind. And one of the most impactful parts of that movie was when she was getting like 30-40% of her mind or whatever. And then, because they say we only operate for 5% of our brain power. And our thoughts consume, you know what I'm saying, a lot of our brain power. Like, just think about how many thoughts you get a day, what they come from, and like, it's like a radio receiver. We don't even realize where these fucking thoughts come from for the most part. They just like enter, you know what I'm saying? But with Lucy, she had called her moms. And when she had called her moms, she was kind of crying, and she was like, "Mom, it's good to hear your voice, And she was like, I remember every kiss that you've given me. I remember when you breastfed me. I remember, when you would hug me when I broke my arm. I remember the cat." And she's like, Mom's like, "You don't remember no, we didn't have a cat." She's like, "We did. It was this with a white fur." And she was like, how could you remember that? You can't remember that, baby, because the cat, you were only like, weren't even a year old yet. She's like, "I remember everything. I felt every touch, every kiss, every hold. I just wanted to say thank you." You know what I'm saying? So that's, a confirmation of showing us that the subconscious mind, which controls 95% of what we do and who we think that we are, is pretty much built in that womb process energetically, and then as we learn the physical world from the ages 0 to 7. And that's why the school system and stuff like that takes the children and nannies, and pretty much parents aren't raising their children like that. And that's done by design. The system raises the children, whether it be through media, now definitely with social media and tablets and phones and shit like YouTube, and like there's mad stuff to keep the children engaged, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But when it comes into programming the children, it gets tricky, because now they're programmed by whatever the agenda of the system is. Where before it was just TV and a couple shows here and there, whatever. But now it's like constant media. They don't even have to interact with adults. They could just give them the iPad and they do their own thing. And they're literally in their own universe. So, but the fact that the matter is that they remember all of that stuff. Somewhere or another, it's in there. That information, that data, the commercial, where they saw Cardi B twerking, where they saw Roddy Ricch, what they saw about a video they saw on YouTube that they watch over and over. That stuff is in their psyche, just as well as the love or hate or whatever for their parents that they may have as well as they get older. So what I'm explaining is that before we can even speak or learn language or learn the world, as we're learning the world, what we're programmed with from the ages of the womb to 7 years old is like the first set of energies that we're going to propel into our life. So it's a very, very important time. And we think that, and this is why people want to heal from quote unquote childhood trauma, because there's so much trauma from that point in time that we really don't remember, but we just know like, yo, I don't like this. Like, I don't like peanut butter. I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? It comes from that energy that was, provided to the child from that, even in the womb. If the mother hates something or the father hates something or even the grandparent, it just depends. It comes from so many different angles. You know what I'm saying? That energy, good or bad or indifferent, enters the child. So understanding that and just knowing that your parents were fucking up and making mistakes and doing different shit, just like regular human beings do. Giving them, you know what I'm saying, a space of like, all right, well, they didn't know what the fuck they was doing because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm figuring out as I go. So as you're doing these things, all of the thoughts, all the words, like you have to purge, or you don't have to, you have the opportunity to purge all of this stuff and then reprogram your mind into what you want it to be at this point in time, especially when it comes to the spiritual orientation of the religions and even the language. And this is how you know that your mind is only, it's like a receiver. It's only attuned to the radio stations that you tune into. And you know this is absolutely true because your mind doesn't speak to you in any language, especially as we become adults, outside of the languages that you know. And most importantly, the most predominant language. So your mind, when you sit back and say nothing, verbally or outwardly, then your mind starts talking a lot of the time. And it only talks in the languages that you know. You're not deciphering Mandarin if you don't understand Mandarin in your mind and figuring out what that code is as it enters, or whatever frequency or high pitched tone, or you know what I'm saying, whatever comes through, what you don't have access, what you haven't programmed your mind with, it doesn't affect you in one ear out the other, so to speak. So that's why our mind, as we learn the world, only programs us with the things that we have been attuned to. And since from the ages of 0 to 7, we really have no choice about these things for the most part, then we have to understand and imagine and extrapolate and figure out where these energies, thoughts, understandings, understandings, and so on come from. And then you can start to put things in their own place and not take for granted your childhood, but learn how to truly balance it and move forward with that, because the mind is going to continue to play tricks. So we think like, all right, my name is, J-Ro, I know this, I'm doing it, and I've been doing this for years, like I went to this school and I learned about this, yeah, that's cool and whatever, but there's, you know what I'm saying, it's still programming. And as I make the choices, it's based from the foundation, again, from 0 to 7 years old. So I'm reinforcing that as we raise children, we have to understand that whatever we're giving them, they're going to know that. Some level is going to connect with them. You know what I'm saying? One way or another. Whether they hate it or like it, that's their choice. But it's going to resonate within their spirit. It's going to sizzle in their spirit, so to speak. These thoughts, these energies, these feelings, these emotions are going to come from what's provided to them at that foundational point, or from the womb to 7 years old. And then let's not talk about the DNA and the trauma in all of our DNA as being a human being, whatever racial, ethnic background you come from, and just being in this matrix system in general. There is a DNA that holds a lot of shit in memory. You know what I'm saying? The tribe of Dan, like all it gets crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, but starting from, a person to person basis, understand where we're at in regards to our 0 to 7 age point, and figure out like, all right, well, what was I doing then? Think or ask questions. You know what I mean? Go dream about it. Whatever you got to do to figure it out. But see where those things come from, and then start to put those energies, because they're very powerful, in their place, that are meant, like why you no longer like sports, why you no longer like to read, why you no longer like or do like these things, like good or bad or indifferent. It's just putting things in this proper place. And then you could alchemize, whatever, become the own master of your own alchemy. Because we know who we are, so to speak, from a certain age, and can remember those things. But those things that impact us the most are the things that we don't remember a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? Especially from the 0 to 7 age point. So, and as we get older, it's like, all right, now I like this TV show, I watch this sport, I play this, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, you build upon the foundation, but the foundation is creaky or fucked up or shoddy, which most of ours is. We have to go in and do the dirty work of reorganizing those mindsets. Because our minds literally play tricks on us. The thoughts are not our thoughts. And again, because they're only speaking the language that you know. So that's like, if you clear your thoughts, then you can start to build from that. Clear these fucking thoughts. They're thoughts. They're all over the place. Thoughts, thoughts. So the same way that we reorganize that foundational point, energetically from 0 to 7, we can reorganize our thoughts and put them in our proper place. And then have them just like ask your thoughts questions. Like, what are you talking about? If your thought says like, yo, some stupid shit, like, what are you like? Ask my mind or my whatever brain, whatever you want to talk. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you telling me to do that? Why are you talking to me like that? You know what I'm saying? In my own mind, like you go, then you realize like once you put a spotlight on it, 7, 8 times out of 10, if it's not trying to, if it's like trying to sneak and do stuff, it'll stop talking. But the true thoughts, the ones that really resonate with us, what's called our true self, those thoughts will continue to talk to you. And people call them download channels, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But those thoughts are the ones that you can resonate with, and you can get information and extract experiences from that, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that you like, yo, what you just said? You said I should punch him in the face? Like, you said I would do what? Go over there and eat what? And then start asking the questions. It may go back and forth with you. It just depends on, your mental standpoint. But you'll realize like, yo, you can take control of these thoughts. And they don't have to just run people, oh, my thoughts all over the place. I can't stop my mind. Yeah, that's because shit is a beast going wild. And we have not programmed our thoughts or our mind to control our thoughts, because it's just been receiving TV, show, this, school, read that book, go here, signs all over the place, media, friends talking to you, text message. It's so much, like all kind of shit all over the place. Move all that shit out the way, create a boundary for your mind, and only allow in, what you want in. And keep, protection around you in your mind, so that you don't get awkward or stupid experiences, because we manifest our experiences, so to speak. You know what I mean? And the mind, if the mind is doing that from the consistent perspective, why not put it in place? So that starts from the foundation of 0 to 7. Understanding that our mind is very important and a critical factor. And we have 3 minds, multiple minds, but brain mind, head mind, pause, you got the mind from the heart, which is very important. And then our gut instinct as well, which goes into what we eat, what we put into our body. Then there's, the bottom of our feet, and so on and so forth. But, focus on what you can, what resonates with you outside of what I'm discussing or inside of what I'm discussing. And 0 to 7. Start to speculate, if you haven't, on those age ranges and why you feel these way. Ask your parents questions, your grandparents, your sisters, brothers, cousins, aunts, whoever's like, yo, what did I do? Oh, you remember that? Oh, and then do research on yourself. Google's not the fucking research. You are your research palette. If you could ask questions to your family members or people who knew you from different times, you'll get different perspectives and understand like, yo, I was programming myself with this, and this is why. And start to build your own equations or quantum equations or calculus, algebra, whatever, in your own mind. And then you could put the things in place like, oh, now I'm not trying to experience that no more. And it stems from this when I was 3 years old, mostly. And then I built on it when I was 5. And then when I was 7, that happened. And I broke my leg at 12. And that was all based upon whatever happened when I was 3 that I don't even remember. Because our subconscious remembers everything. So train the mind, train the mind, train the mind. Physically train the mind. Train the body. You train the body, you train the mind. Train the body. Continue to train the body. You know what I'm saying? Keep moving that shit. Keep doing what you don't want to do. Put it in uncomfortable situations. Ask yourself questions, the tough questions. And these things will create huge levels of growth and development for an individual. Being comfortable is not the space you want to be in, especially not now. You know what I'm saying? So, don't let your mind play tricks on you. Organize your thoughts, organize your energy. And 0 to 7 is a huge space to start to realize what has been inputted into us, pause, and then things that we are instilling into the young ones around us. Because most parents or most people don't even know what their children are consuming. They don't know at a school level. They don't know from a babysitter. They know overall, but they're not in the weeds of what their children are doing. They don't even know. They don't care to, because they're already focused on what they think they want to do. So how does a child, That's why children and parents have such this big beef together, because it's like there's no 2 ships passing at night. The older generation is doing one thing, the other generation is doing another, and then it's like, yo, you don't even vibe. You can't. But if you want to be able to move through all spaces, then these are the ways to start to reorganize your mind, so you can connect with any levels of thought, any languages, universal languages, emotional intelligence, heart chakra energy, which is connected to the earth, which is connected to everything. You know what I'm saying? So continue to to be great, continue to be wonderful, continue to do what you do, but organize your mind's thoughts. Pay attention to it. Listen to what it's telling you. Listen to what you're telling it. Have a reciprocal relationship with your mind, your brain. Or when you think of your mind, do you only think of your brain, your left and right hemisphere? What about the corpus callosum in the middle? Are you thinking about how the heart is connected to the mind too? What about the gut instinct? What about how our feet and our toes are connected to the mind? What about how our fingers are connected to the mind? What about how the movement of the body in dance and rhythm and music is connected to the mind? You'll notice that things start to resonate inwardly and outwardly. So, I put this music on, I got this, I'm moving my thumbs this way, I'm doing these rhythms with my fingers, playing the piano, whatever it is, cartwheels, it doesn't matter, outside with nature. Like, you can resonate with anything. But the mind is only programmed to do what it's been told to do. That's why it speaks to us in the language that that's our native tongue. But you can have a universal communication, straight from Universal Row, straight to you, universal beings. Much honor and respect. Keep doing what you're doing. Row Radio.